Jynx is a very divisive Pokemon that has been mired in controversy ever since Pokemon first released. However, she did have a unique type combination all the way up to Generation 8. We're going to focus on Jynx's battling prowess and see just how good she is in Pokemon Crystal. As always, we'll start with the 7 rules of the challenge. Number 1, the timer will start when walking away from Professor Elm after receiving the starter Pokemon. Number 2, only the challenge Pokemon may be used in battle. Number 3, no items in battle except balls to catch HM friends. Number 4, no evasion increasing TMs such as Double Team. Number 5, no intentional uses of glitches or exploits. Number 6, no rare candies until facing red. And number 7, the timer may be paused for breaks in recording, but no inputs may be made when the timer is paused. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Jynx, the reason being that Cyndaquil has the type advantage over Jynx in all the subsequent rival battles. And now that we have our Jynx, we can take a look at her stats. We have 21 HP at level 5, we have a Berry, our moves are Pound and Lick, 9 in attack, 8 in defense, 15 in special attack, and 13 in special defense and speed. And now the challenge can begin. Of course, the first thing we're going to do is show you the very first battle with our Smoochum, and we are against a Hoothoot. Now we only have 30 in attack, so this is going to take a few hits. It takes 3 hits in total to knock out the Hoothoot. We really do have to grind until level 13 where we get our first special attack. We have a huge special attack for this point in the game, and we need to take advantage of it, especially because we're going to have the type advantage over the first 2 gyms. In the meantime though, we have to take care of the rival with just our Pound. We could use Lick, but I think Lick would be even worse in the circumstance. So we get to work pounding the Cyndaquil, and Cyndaquil lands a Leer. We have a paltry 15 in defense anyway, so that is not great, and we only survived with 4 HP, but we managed to get there, and we can chat with the police officer. We tell him the rival's name is triple question mark, and now we can make our way towards Violet City. Our first destination in Violet City is the gym. We're going to take on the first trainer in the gym to see just how bad that defense stat is. I decided to sweet kiss this Spearow because it has quite high attack, and it does about a quarter damage to itself, and that means we take no damage, but I'm still not going to risk the gym. I want the special attack. I think it's going to speed up the run quite significantly. So instead we go up the Sprout Tower, we lick this Bellsprout to paralyse it because we are very low on PP at this point. We confuse the Bellsprout and it hits itself in confusion, and that might have been the tipping point for this battle. In hindsight, I really should have gone to heal, but I didn't want to take the time loss. But I also think that using Pound would have been quicker even with the heal. We take out the Hoothoot, and we finally learn Powder Snow. Powder Snow is going to be a game changer because now we can utilise our special attack. We're no longer relying on our frankly awful attack stats, so Falkner should be an absolute breeze. We will easily outspeed the Pidgey, we move Powder Snow to the top where it belongs to be, and we knock out the Pidgey in 1. We also do the same to the Pidgeotto, and we get our first badge with a time of 11 minutes and 34 seconds. On to Azalea Town. Now the first thing we do in Azalea Town is catch our HM friends, and our HM friends today, as always, are going to be Psyduck. Psyduck is going to learn Surf, Strength, Waterfall and Whirlpool. Psyduck is the consistent team member no matter what challenge run we do here in Pokemon Crystal. We are always going to be using a Psyduck because it is just so handy. Still considering getting 2 Psyduck for some runs as well. And we also have Paris. Now one thing that may not have been clear in previous videos is I pause the timer in between the encounters until I encounter one of our HM friends. That's just to remove the element of RNG in the run. And now that we've got them, we can go into the gym and take on Bugsy. Bugsy is a bug-type leader, and they lead with a Metapod. We are going to use Powder Snow because that's the best move we have, and we one-shot the Metapod. Out comes the Kakuna. We almost one-shot it, but it takes 2 shots in the end, and now we're on to the Scyther. Scyther uses Fury Cutter, which is super effective, but we managed to get a freeze off on it, and so Scyther goes down in 2 hits. That was a very easy and quick Bugsy fight, and we took him out with a time of 19 minutes and 51 seconds. Straight on to Rival 3 we go, and if we'd have battled one more wild Pokemon, we would have had Confusion against the Ghastly. It doesn't matter, Powder Snow one-shots anyway. We decide to replace Pound with Confusion because we're not going to be using our physical attack, at least for the time being. I use a Powder Snow and then a couple of Confusions as Quilava sticks to Smokescreen. We got very lucky there, and then it's just a Powder Snow for the Zubat. Rival 2 is down, and we can move on into Goldenrod City. We grab the Cut HM from the Cut Master, and then we can also grab the coin case. After the coin case, of course, is the haircut, and Smoochum's hair is looking a little bit unkempt, so she was very, very happy to have it chopped by the younger brother. We pick up the bicycle so we can move as quickly as we possibly can around the region, and then it's time to buy our Abra. Every run we buy an Abra, every run I try and encounter an Abra in the wild, but it just never catches for me, so we're going to have to purchase one instead. We've done a lot of battling, so we get TM27 return very early, and now we're going to buy Ice Punch. Ice Punch is the move we are going to be leading with for an awful lot of this game. Ice Punch has a huge base power for this point in the game, and combining that with Smoochum's 85 in special attack, I think this could be an easy game changer. Now that we've got that, we can go and steal Kenya for another run. I promise at the end of one run I will return Kenya. We can chat to the flower shop lady, and now it's time to take on Whitney. Whitney is gym number 3, she's got a Clefairy and a Miltank. Miltank could be dangerous, you know, because Miltank has rollouts, and rollouts will be super effective against our little ice type. It doesn't matter though, we get a critical hit. Proves me wrong, and we can move on already to Ecruteak City. Time of 29 minutes and 7 seconds for Whitney. We impressed the man in front of the kimono girl so much that he gives us a HM for Surf, and now we can take on rival number 4. I've got to be honest, I was very, very worried about the Magnemite in this battle, because it will resist all our moves. We use Confusion against the Haunter, and he withdraws the Haunter to send out the Magnemite. That means we can take it down without it doing any damage on us. We use Confusion on the Quilava, we make it confused, but it still hits Ember for a paltry 20 damage. Our special defense coming in very handy there. We can then confuse the Haunter to take it down, and that just leaves the final Zubat. Double type advantage over the Zubat, we take it down, grow to level 29, and we move on into Morty's gym. Now we're going to have to take a look at one of those creepy mediums again, because we will grow to level 30. This is the level that Smoochum evolves. We sweet kiss that Haunter just for the hell of it, and we take it down, and we have defeated that Haunter. We're at level 30, and plot twist, we are not evolving. We are staying as a Smoochum until level 37. Something you might not know is that Jynx does not learn Psychic by level up, but Smoochum does, so we are going to tolerate having a baby Pokemon for another 7 levels. But while I've been waffling, we're already battling Morty, and this is going very, very well. We grow to level 31, out comes the Gengar, we one-shot the Gengar, and the final Pokemon is his last Haunter. That goes down to a single Confusion, and we have beaten Morty with a very, very good time of 34 minutes and 48 seconds. We can now move on to Olivine City. The first thing we do in Olivine City is pick up the Strength HM. That's going to be taught to Psyduck along with Surf, and now we can move into the Lighthouse. At the top of the Lighthouse we have Jasmine. She is looking after that very, very poor sick Ampharos, but it's going to have to wait. We've got a little bit of plotline to do before we come back to it. We grab the rare candy and we can move on out towards Cyanwood City. We'll grab the secret potion now so that we don't forget it later, and we can now take on what would be a dangerous gym if we didn't have that Psychic type. So we move some boulders with our face, and we can have a little chat with Chuck. He throws the rock on the statue, and he has 2 Pokemon, Primeape and Poliwrath. Leading with the Primeape, we use Confusion and we take it down in one shot. Out comes the Poliwrath. Poliwrath is a little bulkier, so it only goes down to half. He takes aim though, and that is perfect for us because it means we can knock him out without taking a single piece of damage. We get the Storm Badge with a time of 41 minutes and 30 seconds, and now we can move on to the Lake of Rage. We grab the rare candy, we have a little chance with the Gyarados, and this will be a good litmus test to see just how good Smoochum is of all things. Dragon Rage is a little bit dangerous, so I decide to use Ice Punch. We're down in the red as it keeps using a fixed damage move, but we do eventually knock out the Gyarados. And now here is Lance the Liar. We don't like Lance because he lies about his type speciality. He is clearly a flying type trainer. We'll take out our frustration on Lance being a liar on these poor unsuspecting Magnemites, and we grow to level 37 in the process. We learn Psychic instead of Confusion. We've got one more Magnemite to go. I use Ice Punch against it, we knock it out, and now we finally get our evolution. A whole 7 levels late, we get Jynx, we do a little shimmy, and at the same time as evolving, as sort of a celebration, I decide to teach Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to replace Lick as our ghost type move to take care of some of those peskier types. And now we can move on out of here. Lance the Liar's back, so say hello to him. He gives us HM06, that's Whirlpool. It's probably actually Waterfall, knowing Lance, and we can take on Pryce. This is one of those situations where it's same type specialists against each other. Pryce has 3 Pokemon, one of which is a pure water, and the other 2 are actually ice types. Seal goes down in one shot, Out comes Dugong. Dugong goes down to a couple of Psychics, and the final Pokemon is, of course, Piloswine. We don't have anything super effective against the Piloswine, so we're just going to Psychic and then Ice Punch because it will be neutral against the Piloswine. And one more Ice Punch takes care of it. Pryce is defeated. We can move straight on to Jasmine. Jasmine is scary. She is a Steel-type trainer. She's only got 3 Pokemon, a pair of Magnemites, but she also has a Steelix, and Steelix knows Iron Tail. So we'll take care of the Magnemite first of all. Psychic is strong enough to OHKO even though it resists. Out comes Steelix. We decide to use Ice Punch against it and we get it deep into the red, but she critical hits. First reset of the run at 51 minutes. Out comes the Magnemite for a second try. We still one-shot it and we're back onto the Steelix. I decide to use Ice Punch again. We take it deep into the red once more. Iron Tail leaves us on 3, so she Hyper Potions because she's in healing range. I don't have that privilege. And a couple of Ice Punches takes it out. We're easily outspeeding the Magnemite. We take it down and we have beaten Jasmine with a time of 49 minutes and 24 seconds. We get the Mineral Badge and we are on to Goldenrod City. We grab a couple of rare candies en route and now it's time to take on the Radio Tower. I don't normally show the Radio Tower, but we do learn a new move in this particular battle. We face off against a pair of Grimer and then it's on to Muck. Muck is very bulky, but we of course have our special attack working in our favour. We grow to level 41 and we learn Body Slam. We replace Sweet Kiss with Body Slam because I think Confusion at this point isn't really worth it. And now it's on to the next rival battle. And for once, this rival battle has the potential to be a little bit scary. Not Golbat though. Golbat can get punched in the mouth with Ice Punch and go down very easily. Out comes the Sneasel. We don't really have much super effective against an Ice Dark type Pokemon. I'm glad this is the only one we're going to face up against. Quilava's next. We decide to use a Psychic against it and knock it out before it can use a Fire-type move against us. Magnemite's next. We know that Magnemite is weak against our Psychic at this point. Not maybe in the type matchup, but it definitely doesn't survive, and Haunter goes down in much the same way to a single Psychic. We've beaten Rival 4 and we can move on to the top of the Radio Tower. We get the Pink Bow, we also get the Radio card so we don't get stuck in Kanto, and now it is time to go into the Ice Path. In Ice Path we pick up the Never Melt Ice, and that is going to give us a 10% boost to our Ice type moves. So our Ice Punch is now roughly 82-83 in damage instead. And now we have Clair. Clair is a Dragon type leader, she doesn't lie. But that's no good for her because it just means our Ice Punch is going to do wonders against her Dragonair. We deal huge damage with Psychic against the Kingdra to take it down, and it's as simple as knocking out 2 more Dragonair. Dragonair number 1 goes down and Dragonair number 2 goes down. We have beaten the 8 gyms of Johto in a time of roughly 1 hour, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And now we can start to think about taking our very first steps into the Kanto region. We're going to grab the rare candy just before the Tojo falls, and now it's time to take on the final rival battle. This is the last time we're seeing Triple Question Mark in this video, and he is starting with Sneasel. We body slam the Sneasel as it screeches us, it does quick attack for minimal damage, and we're now on to Typhlosion. Typhlosion still only knows Ember, but it doesn't even get a chance to use it because we knock it out in 1. Golbat's next. We've got just the move for the Golbat, and out comes Magneton. Magneton is very scary in this battle because it resists our moves and also doesn't go down to a single hit, so we are now paralysed. We are flipping a coin every single turn. We managed to get through the Haunter, that just leaves Kadabra. Kadabra uses Future Sight, we hit it with a Shadow Ball, and we take it down. Triple Question Mark is defeated for yet another challenge run, so we say thank you to him for providing a little bit of experience throughout our time in Johto. But it's now time to heal up at the league. And now it's time to say thank you to our HM friends. We say thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and to Parrish. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get some well-deserved rest. This is Jynx's time to shine. We grab our 4 full restores, and at this point we are just a few seconds behind Dodrio entering the league. Let's take a look at the stats going into the league. We have 164 HP at level 53, Ice Punch, Shadow Ball, Body Slam and Psychic with a Never Melt Ice, 94 in attack, 77 in defense, 161 in special attack, 140 in special defense and 140 in speed. Will is our first challenge, and he is a Psychic type trainer. We're half Psychic type trainer, and he has a Jynx just like us coming up later on. First of all though, we punch this Zato in the mouth and it goes down, and out comes Jynx. It's Jynx versus Jynx, but we have Shadow Ball, so goodbye inferior Jynx. Slowbro's next, we Shadow Ball the Slowbro, take it down into half HP, another Shadow Ball takes care of it, and now it's time for Zato number 2. We punch it in the mouth just in the same way we did with the first, we grow to level 54 and take it out. Final Pokemon is Executor. I misclick and hit Psychic here, but I rectify it on the second turn and use Ice Punch to knock it out, and we have defeated Will. One of the 4 Elite 4 trainers is down and we are on to Koga. Koga is a poison type leader with 5 Pokemon and he leads with Ariados. Ariados is a bug type, so he does have some type advantage over us, but Psychic is still super effective against it and we knock it down. Out comes the Fortress. Fortress is very, very dangerous, but we managed to take it down in just 2 hits. Venomoth's next. Venomoth goes down to a Psychic. That means it has to be something weak to Psychic, doesn't it? Muck comes out, we take that down in one shot even though it's very bulky, and that just leaves the double teaming Crobat. We manage to outspeed and take it down in one shot, and that is Koga all done for. Next up is Bruno. Bruno is a fighting type leader, and that would be an issue if we weren't also part psychic type with a ridiculously strong special attack. Hitmontop goes down in one, so we say goodbye to that. Out comes Hitmonchan, it uses Mach Punch for minimal damage, and we take it down in one shot. Onyx is next on the chopping block, and we have Ice Punch, super effective against the Onyx to take that down, and we're on to Machamp. We outspeed the Machamp and use Psychic, and we take it down in one shot, and the final Pokemon is Hitmonlee. Once again we outspeed and we take it down, and we have defeated Bruno. Bruno was very, very easy this run, and we're now on to Karen. Karen is an entirely different kettle of fish. This one is going to be tricky. Umbreon comes out, it's very bulky, we Ice Punch it, but we do get Sand attacked, and we take it down in 2. Out comes Houndoom. I was hoping to connect the Body Slam here, but we missed, and we take over half health damage from the Flamethrower. We do get a critical hit and paralyze it, but it breaks through paralysis, and it's curtains for Jynx there. But it is fine. We shall persevere. We punch the Umbreon, we get Sand attacked, and we're on the same footing we were last time. Houndoom comes out, we Body Slam it, it uses Flamethrower, we're in the green this time, and we manage to knock it out in 2. We've just got to hit all our future attacks. We Psychic the Gengar to take it down, and up next is Murkrow. We have an Ice Punch for Murkrow, we manage to hit it and knock it out, and that just leaves her Vileplume. Vileplume isn't particularly scary, and we knock it down in one shot, and we have defeated Karen with a time of 1 hour, 16 minutes and 2 seconds. On to Lance the Liar, the champion next. He is a flying type trainer and he leads with Gyarados. Gyarados will go down to a couple of Psychics. He uses Rain Dance, which is ostensibly useless in this battle, especially because Charizard comes out next. We Psychic the Charizard, it uses Wing Attack for a little bit of damage, and 2 Psychics takes care of it. We have the option to learn Blizzard at this point, but that is a highly inaccurate move, so we decline. We Ice Punch the Aerodactyl to take it down in 1, and that just leaves the 3 Dragonites, his only Dragon Pokemon, and they are all 4 times weak to our Ice attacks. So Dragonite 1 and 2 go down, 1 more Pokemon until we're the champions. Dragonite 3 goes down, and we have beaten Lance with a time of 1 hour, 17 minutes and 3 seconds. The Liar is defeated. He is no longer the champion of the Johto region. That honour goes to us, and Kanto is next. Before we go to Kanto though, we have a few bits of housekeeping to do in the Johto region. The first thing we're going to do is chat with Professor Elm. He is going to give us the SS ticket so that we can actually get to Kanto, and he's also going to give us the Master Ball. I decided to speak to him from the side. I'm not quite sure why I moved position there, but I did, and now we can withdraw our HM friends. We say welcome back to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck and to Paris. They're all rested up and chomping at the bit to help out in the Kanto region. We are now going to spend all our money and buy a move from the move tutor. I'm sure you could tell from the music that was playing, we are going to buy Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is going to replace Ice Punch. So Jynx is going to put those boxing gloves away, and she is going to focus her ice with her mind instead, which is better for her because she's better using her mind than her fists. We grab a couple more rare candies in the Johto region, 1 in Mount Mortar and 1 in the Whirl Islands, and now we can teleport all the way into Vermilion City. And of course, the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We have another rare candy to pick up, and after receiving it, we can move on straight away to Erica's gym. Erica's gym, I've got to be honest, will be very, very trivial. She is a grass type leader with some poison types in there to boot, and they are all going to be weak to Ice Beam. So it really is as simple as using 4 Ice Beams, 1 against each of her Pokemon. Her first 3 Pokemon are 2 times weak to Ice, so we say goodbye to Blossom, and her final Pokemon, Jumpluff, with the worst move pool I have seen in a regular Pokemon in Generation 2 so far, goes down as well. We get the Rainbow Badge and we are on to Misty. We don't really have much great against Misty, so we're going to have to wing it a little bit. I use Psychic against Golduck and it goes down in 1. Out comes Starmie, and we have Shadow Ball just for these pesky Psychic types. We almost knock it out in 1, but we take it down in 2. Up next is Quagsire, and Quagsire's ground type means it is neutral to Ice, so we use our last Ice Beam on it. And the final Pokemon is Lapras. We Psychic it to take it into the red, it uses a Surf for minimal damage, and we take it down in 2 shots. We've beaten Misty and it's straight onto Sabrina, who shares the name with our Pokemon. I've got to be honest, I was thinking of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I didn't think of Leader Sabrina at all. So let's see who is the superior Sabrina. Espeon goes down in 1, out comes Mr. Mime. We Shadow Ball the Mr. Mime to take it down, and the final Pokemon is Alakazam. Shadow Ball makes light work of the Alakazam, and we have beaten Sabrina. And up next is a trip to Vermilion City, where we are going to take on Lieutenant Surge. He's an electric type leader with 5 Pokemon, and he will lead with a Raichu. Raichu can be quite bulky, just look at it, but we take it down in a single Ice Beam. Electrode's next. We Ice Beam the Electrode, outspeed it, no double team for you this time. Magneton resists our Ice Beam, but Jynx is just too powerful. We knock it out and we're on to the second Electrode. Second Electrode goes down, and the final Pokemon is Electabuzz. Electabuzz passes that trio with Jynx and Magmar, and it keels over at the sign of Jynx. Maybe Jynx is the best of the 3. We'll find out over the next few videos, but for now we're catching this Snorlax. We use our Master Ball on it that Professor Elm very kindly gave us, and we are going to steal its leftovers a little bit later on. We now move on to Brock's gym. He's a rock type leader, but 3 of his Pokemon are weak to ice types. We've just got to look out for those pesky fossil Pokemon. We knock out the Graveler in 1 shot, and out comes Omastar. We use Psychic on the Omastar and we take it down very easily. Level 64 with 200 HP as we go onto the Onix. Ice Beam is super effective and Onix is very weak, so we knock it out. Psychic makes light work of the Kabutops with a critical hit, and the final Pokemon is Rhyhorn. Rhyhorn goes down and we have defeated Brock with a time of 1 hour 33 minutes and 27 seconds. Jynx is on very good pace. Not looking like record pace, but very good nonetheless, seeing as Jynx only resists her own 2 types. We have a little chat with Blue, we grab the rare candy, and now it's on to Blaine. This is another instance where having the Psychic typing really does help out. Blaine would be scary if we were pure Ice, but instead we have Psychic to take down the Magcargo in 1 shot. We OHKO the Bumhead Fireduck with Psychic, so maybe Jynx is better than them as well. And finally we're on to Rapidash. Rapidash keels over at the sight of Jynx's Psychic, and we have defeated Blaine. That is 14 badges down, let's go straight to Janine. Now I'm sorry Janine, this is a mere formality. We have a huge level advantage and you are a poison type leader, so unfortunately it's just going to be a case of hitting either Psychic or Ice Beam, depending on the Pokemon's typing, and knocking each and every one of them out. She might even try and use a dire hit with her Venomoth, but that is just going to prolong the inevitable as we knock it out in 1 hit, and we are on to Blue, the final gym leader and the first one with a mixed typing. So we have 6 Generation 1 Pokemon to go against our Generation 1 Pokemon, and unfortunately for him, he leads with Pidgeot. We say goodbye to Pidgeot, and out comes Arcanine. Arcanine is a little bit scary because it's a fire type. It uses Flamethrower on us for a little bit of damage. We're still in the green though as he uses a full restore. This is annoying because it is just wasting our time. We get a Spadef drop though, and that is enough to take care of it in 1 shot the following turn. Out comes Alakazam, and we have a Shadow Ball with its name on it. We take it down in 1 hit, and the next Pokemon on the chopping block is Rhydon. Unfortunately for Rhydon, we have Ice Beam, and Ice Beam is perfect against Rhydon. We take it down. Out comes Gyarados. I use Psychic against the Gyarados to take it into the yellow as it uses Hyper Beam for quite a lot of damage. We're in the yellow as we take it out, and the final Pokemon is Exeggutor. We use Ice Beam against the Exeggutor and we knock it down in 1 shot. We have defeated Blue with a time of 1 hour 37 minutes and 24 seconds. The only challenge left is Red, but before we get there we have to chat with Professor Oak to open up Mount Silver, and then we have to go and pick up our final rare candy. This rare candy is tucked away at the very east of Mount Silver, and now we can look at Red. As always, we shall try at our current level with our current moves, but I don't think we're going to be successful on the first try. We do take out the Pikachu and outspeed, that's a really good sign. Scary Charizard is next. We get him into the yellow with our Ice Beam, and we manage to knock it out on 22 HP. Up next is Espeon, but this is a losing battle at this point. Shadow Ball does get it into the yellow, but a single Psychic knocks us out. Back we go, this time at level 69. We use Ice Beam against the Pikachu, we knock it down in 1. Charizard's next. We use Psychic this time to see if that does any better damage, and it's roughly the same. Flamethrower gets us into the yellow and we get burnt, so I decide to do a reset. And I realised I never really show the full reset process to show how long it takes, so I left one in there. And we are on to the Pikachu again. Pikachu is a formality, that will go down every single time. We Psychic the Charizard to get into the yellow. This time we do not get burnt, and we use another Psychic to knock it out. We're back onto the Espeon, this time with a little bit more HP. I use Shadow Ball to take it down to roughly half HP. It uses Psychic for minimal damage. We're on 65 as we knock it out. That of course goes up to 78 with our leftovers. We use Body Slam to try and paralyse it. It doesn't work and it Body Slams us back. We're going to have to immobilise the Snorlax in some way, shape or form. So we're going to get rid of our Body Slam and we are going to replace it with Attract. We have a female Pokemon and this is one of the very few times we can use this move. Attract will immobilise the enemy 50% of the time if it is of the opposite gender. So I'll give it a whirl on the Charizard. It manages to break through the infatuation on the first turn to take us into the yellow, but we retaliate back with a Psychic to take it into the yellow. It then doesn't move for the next turn and we are on to Espeon again. The plan with the Espeon is to just knock it out as quickly as we can. It'll only do roughly an 1/8 damage with each Psychic, so it isn't too scary and we can rebuild HP providing the Snorlax plays ball. So we use Attract, it falls in love, it doesn't attack us on the first turn and we can use Psychic to take it down a little bit. However, he does hit the second Body Slam and we have to try again. I reluctantly use 3 rare candies. We clearly have the offensive capabilities, but we are lacking in bulk. As always, the Pikachu goes down in one shot, so we use Attract against the Charizard. It uses Flamethrower and it is no use, we get burnt again. So we try a second time at level 72, and once again it uses Flamethrower on the first turn and we get burnt for a second time. 2 burns in a row was very frustrating, and now we are on to the Pikachu again. We knock it down and out comes Charizard. We just decide to brute force the Charizard and it gets frozen. That was the break we needed. We're on full health for the Espeon. Espeon goes down to 2 Shadow Balls. We're very much in the green as we take on the Snorlax. In fact, we're only missing 10 HP at this point. We Attract the Snorlax, it doesn't move on turn 1, we're back to full health. We Ice Beam the Snorlax, it doesn't move on turn 2. We Ice Beam again, it doesn't move on turn 3. This is fantastic luck and we knock out the Snorlax. This is the furthest we have been. We have a Venusaur who goes down very easily to an Ice Beam. And now we are at full health for the final Pokemon. It is Blastoise. We take it into the yellow with a Psychic. He uses Rain Dance and it is over. We have defeated Red with a time of 1 hour, 44 minutes and 39 seconds. That was a really fun run. Jynx has usurped Dodrio. It is in 3rd place. And everything else moves down a slot. That means on page 2 now we have Executor in 11th spot and Magcargo still in 15th spot. And we're done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like down below. I now have a Patreon. Link is in the description if you would like to help out further. If you've got anything to say, please do leave it in the comments below. And if you've really enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you all very soon.